Okay, I think we're gonna get started. So, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome to the Snooze Summer webinar series. My name is Catherine Duclos, and on behalf of the Quebec Sleep Research Network and the Snooze team, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. So, over the next few weeks, this series will explore different approaches for advanced sleep and EEG analysis using the Snooze toolbox, from AI-based sleep staging and event detection to connectivity analyses and custom tool development. So this webinar series reflects a broader vision of making advanced sleep analysis more accessible, more reproducible, and collaborative across disciplines. So I just want to take a few moments to give you a brief introduction on Snooze before we get started with the first session. So at its core, Snooze was designed to bridge two worlds that often remain very disconnected in sleep research. On one side, we have clinicians, trainees, sleep technologists who need intuitive and reliable tools that don't require programming expertise. On the other hand, we have engineers, methodologists, developers who need tools that are flexible so that they can build and customize and extend analysis pipelines that they already have or are working with. So our vision was not simply to create another sleep analysis software, but to build something that's open, extensible, that supports both accessibility and advanced PSG analysis. So this includes reproducible workflows, multimodal analyses, tools adapted to modern sleep science, from classical PSG analysis to more advanced connectivity and AI-based methods. So Snooze emerged from a highly interdisciplinary collaboration, bringing together sleep researchers, neuroscientists, engineers, developers, and signal processing experts. I especially want to highlight the vision and leadership of Nadia Gosselin, who initiated and led the broader vision behind this platform, namely creating an accessible, rigorous, and clinically relevant ecosystem for sleep analysis. Jean-Marc Lina and myself contributed to the scientific development and expansion of Snooze, while Hélène Blais and Sonia Frenette provided invaluable expertise as our expert senior sleep technologists, helping ensure that the platform remained grounded in real-world clinical and research workflows. I want to emphasize the central role of Karine Lacourse as lead developer and architect of the platform. Karine has been instrumental in translating this scientific vision into a robust and extensible toolbox that could realistically be adopted by both clinicians and researchers. So Karine was initially working with David Lévesque, but more recently has been working alongside Agnieszka Bazregarzadeh and Mohamed Hassan Azad as the core programming team. Snooze is therefore not only a toolbox, but really the product of a collaborative and vibrant scientific community. Of course, all of this wouldn't have been possible without the support of the funding agencies, namely the American Academy of Sleep Medicine Foundation, the Brain Canada Foundation, the Fondation de l'Hôpital du Sacré-Cœur de Montréal, the Research Center at the CIUS du Nord de l'Île de Montréal, the Canada Research Chair on Sleep Disorders and Brain Health, held by Nadia Gosselin, and NSERC. So the goal of the summer webinar series will be to describe the architecture and the scope of this Snooze platform, including how its modules support large-scale, reproducible sleep and EEG research, to be able to apply Snooze, the tools to pre-process, analyze, and visualize sleep and EEG and PSG data using standardized and reproducible pipelines, to select the appropriate analytical approach for specific scientific questions that you may have in sleep or broader consciousness research, to critically evaluate the assumptions, the strengths, and the limitations of different analysis methods implemented in Snooze, and to be able to design scalable, transparent analysis workflows that facilitate collaboration that you can share with others, that you can reproduce easily. And of course, each session is aimed to present some of the methodological background behind the tools that have been implemented, and then to share the ways in which you can use these tools directly within Snooze. So over the next few weeks, the seminar series will showcase different aspects of this ecosystem, from the AI tools and event detection to connectivity analyses and custom development. So today's session is focused on the introduction to AI tools, so automatic sleep scoring, REM detection, presented by Mohamed. Next week, Karine will present on sleep spindles and slow waves, how to detect, interpret, and visualize them within Snooze. On June 2nd, Jean-Marc and Mohamed will present on power spectral analysis and rhythmic versus arrhythmic components. On June 9th, Annie and myself will present connectivity analyses in sleep research and how they're implemented in Snooze. And June 16th is really for developers mainly. So developing in Snooze how to build and customize tools and the architecture within the platform. So these sessions will be held in English because we may have people joining, Snooze users from outside of Quebec joining us. But of course, the Q&A will be in English and French. So if you prefer to ask your question in French, please feel free to do so. So if you haven't yet seen the website or downloaded the Snooze platform, please feel free to do so right now. And without further ado, I will let Mohammed start this first session. So Mohammed is a software developer at the Center for Advanced Research in Sleep Medicine, with more than 7 years of expertise in signal processing, machine learning, and scientific programming. He completed his master's degree in biomedical engineering in 2025 at the École de Technologie Supérieure here in Montreal. And at the Center for Advanced Research in Sleep Medicine, he contributes to the development of the Snooze platform, including its architecture, algorithm design, and sleep data analysis tools.
Okay. So welcome again. Today we'll explore how we are integrating AI techniques into the Snooze toolbox, and specifically REM and sleep stage detection. So our roadmap for today is actually starting with an introduction and then going through the AI tools in Snooze and continuing with the automatic sleep scoring and automatic REM detection and some future tools that we have in our mind and a question and answer. So introduction. First of all, I'm going to talk about what is Snooze for those of you who are not familiar with. So it's an open source Python-based platform designed specifically for advanced PLC analysis. And I invite you to visit the Snooze website to access the software and explore the documentation by scanning the QR code. You will have it in the next slide as well. So yeah, just when you download the QR code, you're going to be forwarded to a website, and you can have write your name, and you will get the links for download by email. And when you got the Snooze, whether you're in Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, you can install it, and then new versions also released for you. So easily you can just unzip the file and run Snooze and follow the instruction like here. And for Mac OS, because we haven't signed it yet, we need to follow some more steps that it's easy and it's accessible through Snooze documentation, which we have the link at the end of the presentation. Also, if you search Snooze documentation in Google, you will have it right away. So why AI? It boils down into three things: speed, consistency, and superior pattern detection. So AI processes sleep recording much faster than manual or conventional methods, reducing scoring time and workload of technician and increasing efficiency. So for sure, it cannot replace the manual scoring by technician, but it can help them to rapidly score the sleep. And it's more consistent. It has more consistent results, reduces storage variability by providing standardized and reproducible sleep staging and event detection algorithms. And also it has better pattern detection. It detects subtle sleep patterns and events such as REM activity in spindles more accurately than rule-based methods. Nowadays, you can access them by many state-of-the-art models. So I'm going through the AI tools Snooze. So right now we have 3 tools that are using AI algorithms. We have pre-processing tools and processing tools. So today I'm going to cover square sleep stages with YASA and detect REM events with YASA algorithm. And they are accessible through pre-processing step of Snooze. And when you download it, you can just go through the pre-processing and they are as it is. And in the next session, in the next class, Karin, my colleague, will present detect spindles with Sumo along with other spindle detection algorithms, and you can have more idea of how it works. So now we are going to go deeper in automatic sleep scoring, and I'm going to talk about just so why sleep scoring is important. Sleep scoring is the basis of sleep analysis. It evaluates sleep quality, supports disorder diagnosis, and guides clinical decisions. So, sleep scoring identifies different sleep stages to assess overall sleep quality and structure, and it helps detect sleep disorders such as insomnia, sleep apnea, narcolepsy, and RBD-REMS behavior disorder. And accurate sleep staging provides important information for treatment planning and patient monitoring. And right now, there are some conventional guidelines like RNK and ASM scoring manual that scorers can usually use them to score stages. And so when I'm talking about the conventional sleep scoring, if I want to let you know how it works. So basically, sleep scorers are going to look at different events and each, for example, 30-second epoch. And if they can see, for example, alpha activity based on different frequency bands, for example, alpha theta activity, different sleep spindles. And by having a consensus of all of these activities, they can find out whether that epoch is, for example, for uh, wake, M1, N2, or whatever. So this is hard because looking at each epoch for of hours of PSC recording to score a night is really time consuming. It's manual and subjective, and there are many iterator variabilities. So different scorers have different ideas about those controversial epochs. So what are the alternatives? So there are some methods like using the hypnodensity graph that shows the probability of sleep stages, and scorers can have an idea of those stages that they are more controversial, and also AI-assisted scorings that are helping the scorers to have an idea again, and then really make a new decision after that. So. Uh, For example, an example of equivocal epoch would be like this, that uh, as you can see, if I can just, yeah. So this is an epoch that based on two different manuals, a scorer one and a scorer two, first decided to score the epoch as M1, the other one with the same manual decided to score as N2, the same epoch as N2. Then by having the manual two, a scorer one changed the decision to N2 and scorer two changed the decision to bake. And then one automatic scoring happened, and it was scoring as bake. So the post-automatic scoring with consensus between manuals and scorers was like both of them agreed on fake. So because, for example, there was the spindle, there was an event that they weren't sure whether it's a spindle or not. So it was a bit tricky. So for sure, many of the epochs are not like these, and maybe it was for a patient or something that it was too noisy, but there are some of them that they're easy to score, and most of the scorers have a consensus. But for these specific epochs, it's better to have an idea to not lose the time of scoring those easy events that everyone has consensus, and just put more time on these controversial parts. Um, So why did we choose Yasa sleep scoring algorithm? It's a well-established method. It has balances between performance and complexity, and it has a comparable accuracy to the state-of-the-art algorithms like the ones which use RNN, transformers, and more complex algorithms. And it has a large scale validation and our dataset. I will go through it in the next slide. And uh, it has generalizability has been proven in the population, and many people are using the algorithm. But the point is, it's like a command line algorithm that you need to know the programming to apply, but we made it much easier. You can just use it through Snooz. So yes, the scoring algorithm is an open source algorithm. If one can just search yes, scoring, you can have the documentation to the algorithm. It has been validated using 30 validated trained and validated through 30,000 hours of PSG data recording. And the data set includes clinical and healthy cases from different age and sex groups and different diseases. And the labeling in these data is not based on consensus among multiple scorers. So each epoch has one label. So this is a downside that it can be another, for example, it can be like another scorer's idea that they scored that epoch as, for example, vague, RAM, N2, or whatever. So this is a downside of these types of algorithms when they use like supervised machine learning algorithm. So if I want to go to a bit more deeper, so the input signals, the central EEG channel aligned with EOG and EMG channels. And central EEG is used since ASM recommended that all PSC recordings should include a central EEG channel in the recording. And after that, the data is downsampled to 100 hertz and bandpass between 0.4 hertz and 30 hertz. And also, the algorithm doesn't need artifact removal, so you can just pass the data to the algorithm, and it does the analysis with all the feature extraction analysis that came here. So most of the features are in time and frequency domain, and they are extracted from EEG, EOG, and EMG signals. And these features are extracted from each 30-second epoch. And as you can see, they are the detail of each feature in time and frequency domain, and based on whether they are an EOG, EOG, or EMG. So they extracted these features and selected those the important ones, and then did the analysis using the machine learning algorithm that I'm going to talk about in this slide. So they did some smoothing and normalization, like the score and normalization. And the machine learning algorithm was light GBM, a light gradient boosted machine classifiers, which is a tree-based algorithm. And it's unique since it's a leaf-wise growth tree, and it's much more it's much better for heterogeneous PSC data. So if anyone had question about the details, I can answer any question and answer session, and I'm not going to cover more details of the machine learning algorithm right now. Yeah, you can ask it later on for sure. And so about the validation of the YASA scoring algorithm, we have done the evaluation on the mass data set, which is a well-known dataset on our by our sleep center. And the accuracy is comparable with other state-of-the-art algorithms. So when we have evaluated the algorithm with mass SS1 and SS3, the mean accuracy was around 80%, 82%. And when I'm going to talk about what is the accuracy with highest confidence in the following slides. But when we apply the highest confidence feature on additionally in Snooz, the accuracy increased by around 0.5%, 6%. So it was like this. And also we evaluated the algorithm and the NATO status as well, which is recorded differently compared to the EDF one. So the accuracy was remained same. And also we compared the results with the one of the well-known and complex methods like sleep transformer, which uses transformer-based algorithms, and the accuracy wasn't that much different. And even on this specific data set, it was a little bit lower. So I cannot say it's always lower. It's comparable. Maybe sometimes based on the different algorithms, it may be higher. But I'm going to talk about more. I'm going to compare with other deep learning algorithms in the next slide. But generally, it's a trade-off between complexity and speed. So even using a simpler algorithm like light GBM can have almost comparable results. So that's why one of the main reasons we decided after all of those validation use YASA as our main algorithm. So as you can see here, so the results on the NSR dataset for YASA still scoring, the median is 87 something. So when I compare it with other well-known algorithms and the other literature, like sleep transformer that I talked in the previous slide, DeepResNet, and USleep. The accuracy on NSR data when the user uses EEG and EOG signal is almost the same, 88% on the training and 84 on the testing. The one with this asterisk is the uh, accuracy on the test set data. So it's almost the YASA is performing better because it has been trained on a big amount of data, while the other algorithms, when I was looking at the literature, many of the ones in the literature, they haven't trained on that huge amount of data. So when it goes to the, for example, using EEG or EOG, the accuracies may drop, for example, like here, but the best performance is when it uses with both of the channels. So if I wanted to go to the tool description and what is included in the tool when the user is going to use the tool, so it's an automated classification using 36-second epochs, as I said before. And the optimal, when you're in the tool, I'm going to show it in the next slide. The optimal electrode selection can be single EEG. We suggest C3 and C4 as ASM also suggested that. And also to enhance the accuracy, you can add the EOG channel and EMG channel, but it works without those one. With a single EEG, it works, but you can add EOG and EMG to increase the accuracy. And I mentioned previously about the high confidence score. So specifically in Snooze, we added a feature that the user may be interested in 4 high priority EEG channels, and we let them to choose the high priority EEG channels. And the algorithm will run YASA with each of these EEG channels along with the loaded EOG and EMG, and makes the best decision among all of these 4 EEG channels. So if you had questions, for sure, I'm going to answer in the question and answer. But so it will find out which EEG channel was giving us a better probability at the end, and we're choosing the best probability out of all of the EEG channels. And yeah, as I mentioned, so the best performance based on our analysis was choosing a central EEG channel aligned with 1 frontal and 1 occipital. So if your analysis, this is our suggestion, for sure you can use any EEG channel that you're interested. So the GUI of the tool is like this. I can go through it after the presentation to give you an idea. But when we load we can just load the files with add the file, and we have the interested files here in the PS2 file section, and you can select the montage that you're interested in, and also the channels, EEG channels, EMG, EOG, and you need to just select the alias that groups the EEG, EOG, and EMG and separates them from each other. Sorry. So after this step, you will come to the next step, which is a expert score stages. I just parameter selection step that you can just select which what name do you want to have in your annotation file, and also whether you want to do a automatic scoring if you don't have any annotation files ready, or you want to compare with your own annotation that has been scored by the expert. So you have these 2 options, and after that you can just run the tool. So it's easy, 2-step, no complexity. So the output of the tool is like this. So you will gonna have a TSP report of the subject name with accuracy, kappa, F1 score, average confidence, and when you have a big cohort, you will have all of these parameters in a row for each of them, and for the also you are going to have an expert annotated and estimated hypnogram, confusion matrices, and hypnodensity plots. As you can see, the annotation by the expert, the estimated one, and all of them are available, and you can just have it in the PDF file. So next, I'm going to talk about the automatic REM detection. So what are the REM events? Basically, REM events are rapid eye movements during sleep, and they're important for sleep staging and disorder like REM sleep behavior disorder. And REMS events are traditionally detected manually by checking EOG signals, and most techniques are based on placing the EOG electrodes in the opposite direction to obtain opposite polarity. So how it works, one EOG channel is on the, for example, left eye close to the left eye, and the other one is close to the right and left eye. And when the eye moves to the left, it's because both eyes are moving in one direction, they will make opposite polarity, and we'll get EOG channels like this. So there are many REM detection methods. Traditional REM detection methods are usually rule-based and rely on signal processing techniques applied mainly on EOG signals like threshold-based detection, template matching, frequency, and peak analysis, wavelet, and spectral methods, and PCA and ICA techniques by using other signals like ECG. And the limitation of conventional methods is that they are sensitive to noise and artifact. Performances varies by cross patient, so it's more subjective, and the difficulty in detecting subtle or atypical REM events. And they are lower general, lower. They have lower general. Sorry. So yes, REM detection. The algorithm is a feature-based machine learning method that detects REM events. And the advantages is, again, similar to the other one. It's user-friendly and easy to use, and fast and computationally efficient. It has the open source, and it's easy to integrate, and it is minimal channel, like only LOC and ROC. And it has an acceptable performance compared to human scoring as well. And it's based on two references. And we also didn't publish this algorithm itself, and just inspired the algorithm from these two papers. So ESRM detection performance. So when for example, the final score of the expert was 0.84. But when they use, for example, the first reference, when they use the automatic method, the F1 score was around 0.8 for different types of algorithm when they changed their design. So it didn't, it for sure, compared to the human score, it's not that good, but it's comparable. It's not the same, but it's good to have the detection, and again, expert can just look at it and have an easier detection. And so the main processing steps are the filtering. So first of all, is the filtering. So if we have the, let me just zoom in. So if we have the LOC and ROC, they do a filtering. You can adjust in the tool, but for example, between 0.5 and 5 hertz, and you get the signal. And 0.5 and 5 hertz is the recommended by the paper, is the frequency band that is interested for M detection. And then they do a multiplication, minus multiplication, and you can get the prime n. And just let me make sure. Yes. So, and by having this multiplication, you can find out those strong peaks that come with the multiplication, and then just by passing a window, you can extract those specific REMS events. So to facilitate it, for sure, there are some options, some optional options like having the hypnogram that helps, for example, to only detect on those REM stages, and can make the algorithm to perform faster, and also they use feature extraction. So when they do this multiplication, they extract some features again out of this multiplied signal, and by having those features, they do the detection and also artifact detection. So those features are so if we have, for example, especially one of the multiplications would be like this, or if we have the LOC and RC like this, the start time, peak time, sorry. So what's that? So the start time, peak time, end time, the duration, the amplitude, and the rise of the slope, fall of the slope. So these are the features. And so if I wanted to go to more details, so they do apply, as I said, they apply the filtering and the opposite sign verification that I said, and also you can adjust the duration of. For example, you can adjust all of these thresholds that I mentioned in the previous slide. So the duration, the threshold, the duration, the amplitudes, the frequency, all of them are adjustable in the UI. And the algorithm for removing the artifacts is the isolation forest outlier removal algorithm, which requires at least 50 detected RAMs. And why is 50 detected RAMs? Because the algorithm needs a minimum amount of detected RAM to be trained on and have an acceptable performance for removing outliers. And if my voice is a little bit. Okay. About on the tool description. So RAM detection uses two EOG signals, EOG left and EOG right, as I said. So I mentioned before that it uses the some adjustment for amplitude, duration, and frequency, relative prominence, stages, outlier, and hypnogram. I'm going to show it in the next slide. And for the report, for the output, we have the RAMS cohort report, which includes the average of the following characteristics, like RAMS count, duration of events, and second amplitude, density, and variability of the density in total sleep time, sleep cycle, clock hour, and hour spent in the state. So the UI of the tool is like this. So the first step is exactly like the ESSIB scoring without that aliasing in this tool. And the second step is so it has some so my screenshot wasn't that good. I'm going to show it in the tool, but you can adjust all of the uh, parameters and thresholds here, and also you can get the report as I mentioned by just selecting the output directory, and it's easy as it is, and you don't need to follow that many steps. The good thing about these tools, two tools, is this. So it was it for the RAM detection, and the future AI tools that we have many things in our mind, but some of them that I wanted to mention was we were working on new RAM detector and corrector tools, also RBD detector, and we are working on some ECG related tools. And we are for sure open to any suggestion of the user. If you have something in mind that it would be good to be integrated in Snooz, we are open to have a conversation about it. And these are the references that it's easy to write just in toolbox in Google. You can get all of the information about our website and documentation. The documentation is super complete, and you can find anything you need through it. And finally, thanks the SAMS members involved in SUS development and grants that made it possible. And I think.
Thank you. So next week, join us for Karin's presentation on slow waves and spindles, how to detect and interpret and visualize them in Snooz. So she'll go through these elements in detail next week.